Hi everyone, it's Sonia here. I wanted to give you a little rundown on the news concerning this new scary variant, or scariant, known as Omicron. Disclaimer, nothing in this video is medical advice. I'm just going to give you the rundown on what's already in the news. So we're going to talk a little bit about this variant, where it came from, what it is, how dangerous it is. Looks like we might be in for another round of restrictions and booster shots. Before I start, I just want to say thank you for liking the video and thank you for your support on Patreon. That keeps my channel going. I also want to let you know about C60 EVO. This has been a wonderful product for me that has really helped me with my sleep. They also make a facial serum which reverses some damage that you accumulate. I want to let you know that they have these little gift boxes where you get the C60 EVO, the facial serum, and also two of these little lip balms, which taste super great. This one is mint. I love it. And when you use the code below, you get a discount, but you also get a discount when you buy them as a package. So if you're interested in this as a gift for someone, or maybe even yourself, check out the link for more info and a discount. So let's start with how this originally started. Of course, this is an evolving story, so maybe a few months down the road, what I'm saying now may not apply, but as of today, 28th of November 2021, this is the information that's out there. So what happened basically was there's this area in South Africa called Gauteng where they noticed all of a sudden a big jump in COVID cases. They said they reported 2,828 new COVID cases, with as many as 90% of those cases potentially caused by the Omicron variant. So they noticed all of a sudden there's a big jump. They analyzed the virus, and they discovered that there were more than 30 mutations on the spike protein, including, from what I heard from Dr. Campbell, well, I guess I'll leave you a link below, there were 10 on the docking mechanism of the virus. So the concern was that because it has so many mutations, it's possible that it might evade some of the protection of monoclonal antibodies and convalescent plasma, and perhaps even antibodies that are induced by vaccine. So let's see what Dr. Fauci has to say about this.
What do we know about how resistant it is to the current vaccines?
We don't have a definitive answer to that, George, and we will know that likely within a period of about 2 weeks. It's important to point out that when you have a high level of antibodies, the way you get with the boosters that we've been doing lately in this country and elsewhere, you lift up the level of the neutralizing antibodies high enough that it generally crosses over and covers several of the variants, including the Delta variant, which makes us even more emphatic in saying, even with a variant that we don't know yet the full impact that it's going to have on protection against vaccine-induced antibodies, get boosted, get vaccinated, and you're going to bring that level right up. I don't think there's any possibility that this could completely evade any protection by a vaccine. It may diminish it a bit, but that's the reason why you boost.
Very quickly, other countries discovered that they have Omicron too. One of them was Botswana. Originally, they had detected 4 cases, all of which were in vaccinated diplomats. Now the case count is up to 19. Now, this was interesting. The Dutch found 61 COVID-19 cases on a South Africa flight. What's interesting about it is that the cases were discovered among 624 passengers. You had 61 cases out of 624 passengers. That means that 10% of the passengers were positive for COVID-19. They figured that 13 of them were positive for Omicron. I mean, my mind is just blown that there were so many COVID cases on that plane. I mean, 10% is a lot. It started to spread in Europe. Belgium reported a case in a traveler who had been to Egypt and Turkey. There were also a couple cases detected in Hong Kong. Turns out it's also already in Canada. 2 cases were detected in Ottawa. And it has also been found in Israel. Right as soon as they announced that there was this Omicron, they already had a theory on how it came up. They say that a person with untreated HIV could have gotten infected, mounted some antibodies, but an inefficient, inadequate response, which would have given the virus a chance to live in their body for a long time. As their antibodies had the chance to kill off some of the virus, any virus in their body that is mutated has a better chance to escape those antibodies and then can take over. That's what they're saying. So I was like, well, how did you know that? How did you did you seriously find this AIDS patient and figure this out in 2 days? But it turns out, I don't think they did. They're just assuming that that's probably the most likely scenario. And they're saying that this has happened before, and that's why they think it's that. The general sentiment on Facebook, at least, seems to be that unvaccinated people are to blame for this. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case, but that's what people are saying. That is also so much more politically correct than blaming the immunosuppressed. So the response to this has been to implement new travel bans. Oh, wait, what's this? Italy confirms first case of Omicron. Germany confirms first 2 cases of Omicron. Seems to be making the rounds. So, I mean, to me, it just seems like, well, you know, the variant's already here. So let's hope that something puts an end to this and stops the spread. I mean, maybe it'll work this time. Canada clamps down on Omicron COVID-19 variant. Experts say it's likely already here. Canadian government would be introducing a total of 5 measures to limit the spread of the new variant. Limit the spread. Where have I heard that before? Including restricting entry to foreign nationals who've traveled through a handful of African countries in the past 14 days. Dr. Chakrabarty says, we have to remember that you can't stop a respiratory virus from coming in with travel because there's all sorts of other ways that it can be introduced into the country, like through supply chains. It's akin to playing goalie and having 30 people shoot pucks on you at the same time. You're just not going to keep this out. YouTube, is it okay if I say that I agree with Dr. Chakrabarty? The South African president also calls for the lifting of the travel bans. He says they are scientifically unjustified. South African countries feel like they're being punished now for being so honest. And that might in the future discourage countries from being so transparent. Maybe vaccine equity, not travel bans, are needed to combat COVID-19 Omicron variants, say some scientists. So this is another thing that's been discussed a lot. I mean, some people have said, frankly, it's disgusting that rich Western nations are handing out boosters, even to relatively young people, when other countries haven't even gotten their fair share of a first dose. So it looks like now that this problem is coming out of Africa, maybe Africa will start getting more COVID vaccines. So look, not everyone's on board for travel bans, that's for sure. Even the WHO is criticizing this approach. The WHO says this places a heavy burden on lives and livelihoods. If restrictions are implemented, they should not be unnecessarily invasive or intrusive and should be scientifically based according to the International Health Regulations, which is a legally binding instrument of international law recognized by over 190 nations. The travel industry and the stock market have already taken a big hit. Again, businesses worldwide are going to be affected. It's like we're going back into the cycle of shutdowns and downward spiraling of the economy. Like just when it's starting to recover, oh, back down. I kind of have the feeling that at this point, a lot of countries aren't really listening to the WHO. Now they're recommending against travel bans. Why would Canada heed their advice? So ever since this variant made its entry, people have pretty much gone into freak out mode. I think thanks largely to the media. The Mirror reports worst ever COVID Omicron already in UK, warn scientists, and is a substantial risk. Most people think that this is, going to be absolutely the worst, the deadliest, spreads super fast, kills everybody. I've even seen, there's reasons why people are scared. I've seen articles where scientists were speculating that COVID could eventually evolve into something like Ebola. And of course, Israel had done an exercise for the Omega variant. I guess Omega would be the last. Let's hope. I hope it's not the last because it kills everybody. Anyway, they had been doing this, a drill for what happens when you get the Omega variant that really is super lethal and spreads super fast. So this stuff is out there, and so people are scared. But how scared do they really need to be? The WHO says it's not yet clear if Omicron causes more severe disease. As of today, it could change, but as of today, South African doctor says patients with Omicron variant have very mild symptoms. Wow, that's weird. I thought this was like the big one. Omicron mild so far, experts say, but WHO urges caution. The large number of mutations found in the Omicron variant appears to destabilize the virus, which might make it less fit than the dominant Delta strain. Symptoms linked to the Omicron variant have been mild so far. The WHO cautioned there's no information symptoms caused by Omicron are different from other strains. The cases that have occurred so far have all been mild cases, mild to moderate cases, and that's a good sign. Initial reported infections were among university studies, maybe they mean students, younger individuals who tend to have more mild disease, but understanding the level of severity of the Omicron variant will take days to several weeks. Well, that's true. We won't really know. But let's not take any chances and shut the whole world down. I mean, look, YouTube, you know, if the WHO says to shut the world down, then I'm not disputing it. But I mean, at this point, it's the WHO who's disputing it. And South African doctor who flagged Omicron claims variant not causing serious illness. How is this possible? All my friends on Facebook told me we were all going to die. Angelique Coetzee, part of the team that discovered the new COVID-19 strain, says even unvaccinated patients treated by her have had mild symptoms. What? Dr. Coetzee has seen around 30 patients over the past 10 days who tested positive but had unfamiliar symptoms. What brought them to the surgery was this extreme tiredness. She said this was unusual for younger patients. Most were men under age 40. Just under half were vaccinated. Half were vaccinated? I thought they only had 25% vaccination rate in South Africa. They also had mild muscle aches, a scratchy throat, and dry cough, she said. Only a few had a slight high temperature. So, this is how the world ends. I mean, it's possible that it'll turn out to be like the Ebola version of COVID. I mean, we don't know. Honestly, right now, I'm not really so sure why they're so worried. I mean, apparently this thing has gone around the world already. It's probably everywhere. It's all over Europe. It's in Canada. I mean, if they found 2 cases, do you really think they're the only 2 people who have it? I'm willing to bet there's more. I'm willing to bet it's well entrenched. They said in South Africa, 90% of the cases were probably Omicron. So, I mean, it's already gone up to 90%. It must have been festering in South Africa for quite a while, right? And probably hopping over to other countries. So, I mean, I've been through this whole, like, slow the spread, and you know, I don't, well, okay, I'm not trying to give my opinion here because I don't want YouTube to give me the, send me to the meat grinder, but I mean, my personal humble opinion, not medical advice, is that once the COVID arrives and entrenches, it's kind of impossible to get rid of it. I mean, it's been 2 years of this, and so far that's been the experience. Well, the good news is Moderna says an Omicron variant vaccine could be ready in early 2022. You know, it's funny because just the other day I was watching the CEO of Pfizer saying that they would have, they were working on a vaccine for Delta.
We are making right now a specialized vaccine for Delta. I'm almost certain that we will not need it because booster shot of the current vaccine is very, very, very effective against Delta. But we cannot take that chance.
Fortunately, with this new technology, they can crank out new vaccines almost as quickly as the virus can mutate. The Pfizer vaccine for Delta should be ready soon, just as the world switches from Delta to Omicron. And the Moderna vaccine for Omicron will be ready in early 2022, probably just in time for us to switch to a new variant. But don't worry, Tony Fauci has assured you that your old shot is still keeping you safe. You just might need an extra dose.
It may diminish it a bit, but that's the reason why you boost.
So that's the wrap up, you guys. I mean, my personal opinion, I don't know, maybe I'm just a little jaded because I've been living through this for almost 2 years, that, you know, there's a new variant. It's like, yep, you know, that's what's been happening. I remember when they had the Alpha variant in England and there was a lot of panic about it. And then eventually they're like, yeah, it spreads more, but it's not really more deadly. And then we forgot about Alpha. And then, oh my God, it's Delta. And then, yeah, Delta caused some really big spikes. But, you know, here we are. And now we have Omicron. And I'm pretty sure in 6 months we'll have another one. So that's it. Let me know what you think. Thanks for liking the video and for joining me in the chat. And thanks again for your support on Patreon. Don't forget to check out the link for the C60 and the little gift kit, which is so cute. Sorry, I took it out of the package because I've actually been using it. And it looked really nice in the package, though. Beautiful little gift box. So please check it out. You get lots of discounts with the code below. And that's it. Thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.
The Truth Occurs.